Russia is preparing a new large-scale offensive against Ukraine in August with the participation of DPRK troops. The Ukrainian armed forces have eliminated a Russian colonel who commanded assaults in the Kharkiv region. Last night, drones attacked a railway near an oil depot in Russia's Volgograd region. What's this? Ukrainian equipment is being used in the war between Thailand and Cambodia. American President Donald Trump is pursuing Barack Obama, while a Ukrainian saber fencer has defeated a highly decorated Russian and a major of the Russian armed forces at the World Fencing Championships. Hi, I'm Yulia Kokan, and before we begin, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and give this video a like if you support Ukrainian language content. Russia is preparing a new offensive against Ukraine with the involvement of North Korea. Reuters reports this, citing Seoul's intelligence. The publication claims that North Korea may send additional troops to Russia as early as July or August 2025. In exchange, North Korea will receive satellite launch and missile guidance technologies from Moscow. It is noted that Pyongyang has already begun a new mobilization of troops to be sent to Russia.
North Korea may send additional troops to Russia to participate in the war against Ukraine in July or August, and Pyongyang continues to supply weapons to Russia, South Korean lawmakers said on Thursday, citing a briefing from the intelligence agency. The National Intelligence Service believes that Russia may be preparing for a large-scale attack on Ukraine in July or August, South Korean lawmaker Lee Sung-kwon told reporters after a closed briefing. The additional deployment could take place as early as July or August, Lee said, adding that the agency based its assessment on the recent gathering of troops were dispatched by North Korea and the recent visit to Pyongyang by a high-ranking official from the Russian President's Security Service. After a month of silence, North Korea and Russia have revealed information about the deployment of North Korean troops and their role in Moscow's offensive against Ukraine aimed at reclaiming the Kursk region.
It is noted that in May, one of the key representatives of Russia's Security Council visited North Korea, which was likely part of the coordination efforts. In addition, North Korea supplies Russia with artillery shells and missiles, and in return receives technical assistance, including support for satellite launches and missile guidance systems. The publication writes that these agreements became possible within the framework of a mutual defense pact, which North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin signed in June 2024 during a summit at the Vostochny Cosmodrome. What do you think? How realistic are such plans of the enemy? The defense forces have eliminated Colonel Lebedev, commander of the 83rd Motorized Rifle Regiment of the 69th Division of the Russian Armed Forces. This was reported by the Khortytsia Operational Strategic Group. According to the military, Lebedev commanded assaults in the Kharkiv region.
Eastern direction. According to operational information, the Defense Forces soldiers have eliminated Colonel Lebedev, commander of the 83rd Motorized Rifle Regiment of the 69th Motorized Rifle Division of the Russian Army, who led assault operations in the Velikobulatsky direction.
And now to other news from the front. The Russians have advanced in the Kharkiv and Donetsk regions. According to deep state data, the occupiers have advanced near Vovchansky Hutory in the Kharkiv region, as well as Yablunivka and Orikov in the Donetsk region. According to the General Staff, 153 combat engagements were recorded over the past day. In the Pokrovske direction, our defenders repelled 63 enemy assaults. In the Lyman direction, the enemy attacked 16 times, attempting to break through the defenses near the settlements of Novy Mir, Zeleny Hai, Rekivka, Shandriholov, Kolodias, Karpivka, and Torske. In the Novopavlivka direction, the enemy carried out 12 attacks near the settlements of Taimirivka, Tolstoy, Novokhatske, Mirne, Zeleny Hai, Malivka, and Voskresenka. In the northern Slobozhansky and Kursk directions, Ukrainian soldiers repelled 9 enemy attacks over the past day. Ukrainian serviceman Stanislav Bunyatov, call sign Osman, writes more about the situation in the Siversk direction and on the Lyman front in his Telegram channel.
A few days ago, in the Siversk direction, they stormed our positions using motorcycles, a Zhiguli car, and a tank. It's not a very pleasant trend, but the enemy was completely destroyed. In the forests of the Lyman direction, the enemy has become more active, advancing with infantry. And the FPV drones aren't always effective in the forest. Bombers and cluster munitions are more effective, but we don't have many of those right now. In addition, some brigades still haven't improved their loudspeakers, so the enemy regularly breaks through their positions.
Footage has appeared online showing the coordinated actions of artillery and unmanned systems of the 155th Separate Mechanized Brigade. Our armed forces thwarted another assault in the Pokrovske direction. For the first time in a long while, the enemy deployed armored vehicles in battle. And once again, it was in vain. The entire enemy column was destroyed. The occupiers have lost another aircraft. On the evening before, the main intelligence directorate reported that on the night of the 26th of July, a Su-27 was destroyed in the Russian city of Armavir. It is noted that the destroyed Su was also used for pilot training, but could be deployed in combat if necessary. The main intelligence directorate released a video showing the enemy aircraft catching fire and gradually being engulfed in flames.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
I thank our defenders, both men and women, and I take this opportunity to ask you, donate to the army and support our defense forces. They are doing incredible things. Another explosion in Russia. Last night, drones attacked the railway in Russia's Volgograd region. Look! Do you hear that? According to Governor Andrei Bocharov, there were disruptions in the electricity supply to the railways in Volgograd after the drone attack. According to the Escalation Telegram channel, a railway substation was hit in the area of the oil depot. Rosaviatsia suspended flights at the Volgograd city airport. Additionally, due to the UAV attack in the Volgograd region, passenger trains are delayed.
Systematic efforts continue to disable key enemy railway connections used for military logistics transfers. The strike hit a substation in the area of the village of Oktyabrsky, Volgograd region.
And this is Russia's Leningrad region, deep in the rear. Since morning, there has been a high level of anxiety here due to flying drones. Footage from UAVs is actively going viral online. The head of the Center for Countering Disinformation of the National Security and Defense Council, Andriy Kovalenko, also posted the video on his Telegram channel. Well, what can I say? I definitely like seeing things burning in Russia and how anxious they are. In the war between Thailand and Cambodia, Ukrainian equipment is being used. Yes, the Royal Thai Army has deployed Ukrainian APCs on the border with Cambodia. This was reported by the Militarny channel. It is alleged that a video showing the movement of these combat vehicles was posted by user Varner on the X network. Kone.
The 3-in-1 armored personnel carriers were deployed as part of increased containment measures on the border with Cambodia after the start of the active phase of hostilities between the countries. As of today, the Royal Thai Army has approximately 230 combat vehicles of this type in various configurations. The video shows a version equipped with the BM-3 Sturm combat module featuring a 30mm cannon, 3 TM-1S, and a mount for Barrier V anti-tank missiles.
US President Donald Trump stated that Thailand and Cambodia have agreed to quickly reach a deal for a complete ceasefire. Trump hinted that this success was achieved thanks to his telephone diplomacy. Let me remind you, the conflict between Thailand and Cambodia sharply escalated after a shooting incident at the border. Both countries accuse each other of provocation. According to Bangkok, the Cambodians were the first to open fire, but Phnom Penh denies this. In response to attacks from Cambodia, Thailand deployed units equipped with Ukrainian technology to the border and also carried out airstrikes against Phnom Penh's military forces. The Cambodians attempted to attack the province of Trat, but the Thai army easily repelled the incursion. Well, the American president shared a meme where, together with JD Vance, he is supposedly chasing Barack Obama. The choice of photo is particularly interesting. Trump specifically picked a caricatured image of Vance. Let me remind you, a couple of days ago, Donald Trump accused his predecessor, Barack Obama, of treason over an alleged connection with Russia and called for him to be prosecuted. According to Politico, the U.S. Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, released documents that allegedly show Obama and his top aides fabricated and politicized intelligence data regarding Russia's attempts to influence the 2016 election. The head of the White House stated that Obama was a separatist and tried to lead a state coup, adding that it is time to prosecute him. At the same time, Obama spokesperson Patrick Rodenbush said that Trump's accusations are outrageous and absurd, and added that this is an attempt to distract attention. And what do you think about this whole story? Whose side are you on, Trump's or Obama's? Share your thoughts in the comments. What a piece of news! The family of Dmytro Kanzusenko, deputy head of the Southern Office of the State Audit Service, lives large. Footage is going viral online showing his wife, Daria Kuchurina, driving around the city in a Bentley and a Range Rover, throwing lavish children's parties with money being tossed around, and flaunting jewelry worth hundreds of thousands. And here is MP Bohdan Torokty shopping for a car in Kyiv. He arrived at the car dealership together with his wife, Alina Levchenko, a former advisor to the general director of Antonov and a former advisor to the ministers of infrastructure and social policy in Amaybach. Footage is being shared online with claims that he is choosing between a Porsche Cayenne and a Bentley Bentayga. Well, what can I say? It's a tough choice, no doubt about it. China does not want the war in Ukraine to end. Despite the fact that China publicly supports Russia, behind the scenes it fears Russia both as an ally and as an enemy at the same time. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, speaking with European diplomats, stated that China cannot allow Russia to be defeated so as not to let the US focus its attention on China. However, according to experts, this statement is a diplomatic maneuver. This is reported by The Hill. In reality, Beijing is not wary of the US, which is across the ocean, but rather of Russia, its closest ally, which could become a threat. There are at least 3 scenarios, each of which is dangerous for China.
If Russia wins in Ukraine, however one defines victory, Putin will be filled with self-confidence and arrogance, since his imperialist adventure will have succeeded in returning Russia to great power status. Such a Russia could be reckless enough to attack a NATO country or attempt to annex northern Kazakhstan, which would not benefit China. Next, there will be a change in tone. A triumphant Russia might start flexing its muscles and questioning its so-called unlimited friendship with China. Perhaps the terms of the partnership could be changed to reflect Russia's new status. Maybe Beijing could consider paying more for energy resources from Russia. Maybe China could stop publishing identical maps with Chinese names for Russian cities. Eternal friendship may not disappear overnight, but it will certainly create more complicated relations that could test China's patience. If Russia loses in Ukraine, however one defines defeat, a whole range of highly destabilizing scenarios could emerge. A possible collapse of Putin's regime, internal armed conflict, the disintegration of the federation, the rise of separatist movements and growing uncertainty in the Far East.
The optimal scenario for Beijing is a third one, a prolonged, exhausting war that leaves Russia weakened, dependent and controllable. Such a Russia loses its agency and sinks ever deeper into the role of a raw materials appendage for China, unable to formulate an independent policy. And what do you think about all this? Write your thoughts. The European Parliament is considering proposals to accelerate the EU's phase-out of Russian gas by 1 year, specifically by January 2027. This is reported by Reuters. The publication claims that EU countries and lawmakers are preparing for negotiations on the EU's plan to ban the import of Russian gas. The starting point for this will be a legislative proposal that the European Commission presented last month. It envisions a complete ban on the import of Russian gas by the 1st of January 2028. European Parliament lawmakers on the issue of banning Russian gas have proposed moving this deadline to the 1st of January 2027. As Reuters notes, the governments of EU countries are unlikely to agree to move the ban on Russian gas up by a year. However, European lawmakers may use this demand as leverage to secure other changes during negotiations. In particular, they propose to require governments to impose sanctions on companies that violate the ban, including by revoking licenses to trade in energy resources. And Anna, what do you think? How realistic are such plans? Well, finally, some good news from the world of sports. A Ukrainian athlete defeated a Russian competitor at the start of the World Fencing Championship in Tbilisi. 29-year-old Ukrainian saber fencer and European Championship medalist Yulia Bakastova claimed victory over Russian fencer and three-time Olympic medalist Sofia Velikaya. In 2024, Velikaya became a trusted representative of Putin. She also holds the rank of major in the Russian army. The Ukrainian athlete defeated the Russian with a score of 15-14. Congratulations to our athlete, and we wish her more victories ahead. Give this video a like if you enjoy our news. It means a lot to us. And let me remind you how important it is to subscribe to our channel Ukraine Today, so we don't lose touch with you on YouTube. See you soon.